Hello, Earthlings. Welcome to Alien Wizard Science. My name is Matt Worldly, and I'm like lost. I'm lost in this refraction. See, I'm like Matthew McConaughey looking back at myself at all of his bad decisions. I'm just like, no. Oh, wear a condom! Wear a fucking condom! Today has been a tough day. I don't know why, but I know we're all the same. I know I'm not alone in this crazy world that we live in, but today's been a tough day. I don't know why. Sometimes you just wake up and you just feel like this. Yeah, all that. Yeah, you, everything. Go fuck yourself. And I climbed out of the hole. And you know where I ended up? I ended up right here with you guys, which is fucking badass because I could have gone down a million different rabbit holes, but I decided to be here for an experiment, for a lab discovery. So let's do a lab discovery. Everybody, without further ado, let's open the randomizer and see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the randomizer. This decides how we conduct today's experiment. Do I have any idea what's going to happen? No. Are we going to fuck around and find out? Absolutely. So, without further ado, oh my God, I'm like forgetting. I keep doing this. You guys are like probably watching me like, oh my God, this son of a bitch, he's gonna skip the dice roll, but I won't. I promise. I'm sorry about that. This is so new to me. I'm just like still learning all this shit. All right, here we go. Let's get this in here. This dice decides how many times we hit the randomizer. So let's go. Okay, it didn't land on the glass. We're gonna get to land on the glass here. Great. 6. Here. 6. Okay. 6. Great. I know I'm always complaining about 6, and it's only because it's just a lot. Sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming, and I feel a little bit insecure about having to conduct an experiment with 6 different variables. But you know what? They don't call me an alien wizard scientist for nothing, so let's fucking do this. 6 times, baby. Here we go. Beamz. Okay, that makes me a happy camper. Number 2, orbs. Number 3, trinkets. Number 4, refractions. Okay, this is gonna be great. Orbs again. Okay, so for those of you just joining or learning how this goes, I've decided that this does count as one of the times the randomizer has been clicked, but it doesn't really count. Maybe it will, I don't know. It just kind of depends on what mood I'm in. But this counts as the 5th time we've hit the randomizer, but we already have orbs, so we're gonna keep going. One more time. Crazy Suzans. All right, you guys, we've done 3 or 4 laboratory discoveries so far, and the Crazy Suzan has not appeared yet. And I've been waiting for this day. So without further ado, let's jump right into this experiment. Let me add a little bit of ambiance so this whole place kind of feels otherworldly for a moment. Let's, oh shit, my angel dust is flying everywhere. I forgot to put the lid back on my stash. All right, you guys, let's take a look at this and just go down the list. So we started with Beamz. So essentially what Beamz is where I use these super badass magnifying lenses that we talked about in the previous transmission. I'm not into the angel dust, so we're gonna skip that. I use these to create a concentrated beam of light, and it's really cool because a lot of times light will do this when you turn it on, right? It will do this, it'll spread. What these beams do is it turns the light into a legit beam. And from that, we're able to study a lot easier how the light is moving through whatever object that it's reflecting or refracting or casting a shadow on, etc., etc. So let me just start with this beam. I'm going to shine a regular light through it and show you guys what I mean here. Let's move this out of the way. Let's point this upward. Let's get rid of me. And I'm just going to put this here. Okay, this is the lens that we're going to use, and then this is the light. Okay, boom, that's it. That technically classifies as beams, and we can also do this with lasers too, but because we have a light on the table, we're just going to go with the flow. And I'm going to take you guys to the wall really quick to show you guys what's happening. Okay, so I'm going to take the magnifying lens away right now and watch what it does. I'm going to take it away. Okay, and there's our light. We're going to kill this beautiful refraction, and we're going to put this directly back in front. And depending on how close the lens is and how far away, it determines the focal point. So if I do this, and then you start to see some like definition in the refraction, you can't really tell right now, but there is actually, maybe you can a little bit, but there's definition in the refraction now. And what that is that's just the lens picking up the detail on the actual diode inside of this light. So you can imagine if you were to look at the light with your eye directly, everything going on inside of there, that little diode, is every single detail is being absorbed by this magnifying lens and then blasted onto the wall. It sounds complicated, but it is quite simple, and from this we can discover a lot of really cool shit. So just so you guys can get a little bit more familiar with the beams, so I'm not just like throwing all this abstract shit at you and you're like, okay, what is even going on right now? Here's what we're gonna do to give an amazing example of what Beamz is. I'm gonna go to the wall, and I'm gonna turn this back on, which is the light shining through that vase creates this refraction. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this vase to this platform so you can see the difference. In this example, the beam is widespread, okay? I'm gonna take this away now. There's the widespread beam of light. Here's the concentrated beam of light. Now I'm going to set this in front of the concentrated beam of light instead of the other one, and here's what we get. It's a much different experience, is it not? Much different experience. And that's why Beamz is a category on the randomizer, because it really does do something very unique. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Why don't we just flow with this example? Like, I just gave you guys an example of what we're working with. Why don't we just make this the first part of the experiment? So let's just say right now that we've got a beam and we've got a refraction. So technically we are covering two parts of this experiment right now. We've got the beam and it's shining through the rotating glass, which makes it a refraction. So let's, now we've got orbs, trinkets, and a crazy Suzan. Okay, orbs, trinkets, crazy Suzan, and those are the 3 that we have left because the second orbs doesn't count. Or maybe it will. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in, how long this experiment runs. Now let's incorporate an orb, okay? Let's bring you guys back to me. Thank you all so much for being here with me, by the way. This is alien wizard science. There's not a goddamn person in the fucking world that's doing this shit. I invented it. You could say that there's somebody shining light through something and making some cool light refractions. You might go on Instagram, you might scroll and see someone shining a light at water and then it reflects on the ceiling. You might see somebody getting some really cool prismatic window covers for their house and then they film their house. Yeah, that's fucking cool, but it's not this. This is literally the only place in the world where you can see anything like this. And that's why it's been my dream to just broadcast this and share this with everybody. Because if I can't share this dope shit, what the hell good is it just watching it all by myself? Stupid. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am at my orbs, and anytime I choose an orb or anything during these experiments, I'm always thinking to myself, like, what have I neglected? What have I neglected? And yeah, this is one of them. I mean, I honestly can't even tell you the last time my fingers touched this. Probably when this used to live on the shelf and then I moved it over to the glass case. That was the only time I ever touched it. But really, this is such a spectacular, such a spectacular piece of glass. Let me show you guys. It's nothing too crazy, but somehow they've made these bubbles in here inside this paperweight, kind of like look like a slinky. They're all kind of parallel to each other, and I think that there's a lot to work with there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, before I magnify this, I'm just gonna shine a light through it and see what happens, okay? Because we already have this being magnified, because magnifies I think is one of the, wait, is it? Hold on a second. I'm already forgetting. Magnifies is on here, right? Trinkets, orbs, oh shit. I didn't click magnifies. Okay, so then it's just orbs. So then, because magnifies wasn't selected, let's see what happens when we just let's see what we can do with this orb as is without magnifying it. A little out of my comfort zone with this, but let's give it a shot. I'm gonna stick with this light that we're using, and just try not to dilute this too much with color yet, because we could discover something magnificent. So let's go back to the wall. And I've got just a regular light that I'm about to shine through this. You guys take a look, okay? I'm gonna turn this light on now. Bada boom, bada bing. And here's what happened. Here's what's going on. Okay, we can get a little bit clearer of an image. Let's just switch to this camera. And I'm gonna move this experiment over a little bit to kind of get it closer to you guys. There we go. So I'm turning off right now. I'm actually gonna zoom in with this camera a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this light back on. We're shining through this paperweight that I told you that I've neglected. And funny thing is, I'm not gonna be able to explain this properly, but if you'll notice right away, if I turn this refraction off, this looks exactly like the light looked when it was just shining through it. Actually, you know what? There's no reason to try to explain this to you guys. If you're here with me, if you're sticking around, you're fascinated, and you'll find this interesting. So look at this. Let's go to the wall. I'm gonna take away this refraction, okay? I'll show you guys something really interesting. And as I mentioned before, chances of me being able to explain this properly are unlikely. But if there's a scientist in the chat or somebody that understands physics, please enlighten us. But right now, we have a light shining through this magnifying lens, and then we have a light shining through this orb. And here's the interesting part. They're almost doing the exact same thing. If you were to take away the texture, the little bubbles inside of this paperweight, and you were to just shine this light through a glass ball, it would almost imitate exactly what this lens is doing. And there is a similarity. There is a similarity between how this lens works and how when light shines through this, it gets flipped upside down, and it kind of, what happens to the light is very similar to what this lens does to the light. And that's because of the circular shape of it and how the circular shape is able to be magnified. So I imagine all of the lenses that are inside of here have somewhat of a curvature to them, similar to the curvature of that ball. So again, I don't think I'm gonna be able to like get too into that, but if you're familiar with like how our image inside of our brain of the actual world is actually flipped upside down, and then when it goes through our eyes, it flips right side up. This is exactly what these magnification lenses do, and that's exactly what's happening now as we put this in front of this orb, okay? So right now, I'm adjusting this on the orb. I think that's pretty cool. That looks pretty badass. There's just so much excess lighting around everything. But I do think it's cool. However, I honestly, like, I do want to magnify this. And I don't want to say that just because orbs pops up that means something automatically has to be magnified. I'm going with my intuition here, and I think that this is going to be a good idea. So let's put this here. Let's get this orb. I'm trying to move as fast as I can. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Okay, now let's get this light over here. Yeah, so like, it's not that I had anything against the refraction earlier, it's just that now that we're magnifying this orb, this is what's happening. I'm gonna kill the ambiance, and so you guys can just get a real dose of this. So here we go. We're back. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, for as little as I've used this orb, it is truly a spectacular orb. And that's exactly why I said, you know what? Let's just do another magnification. Well, technically, we haven't done a magnification yet, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, I'm currently getting this centered on here. Okay, this isn't too bad. This is pretty cool. I almost wish the first layer was more transparent so that this orb, this kind of texture that's moving in the middle, if it was more transparent, that it would appear more in the center of the sphere and less on the outside. But it's all good. I like where this is going so far. We've already spent way too much time blabbing away. So let me continue this, and let's just see here. Let's incorporate... Trinkets and Lazy Suzan are a truly perfect combo. We've got the refraction, we've got the trinkets. We now have one of the orbs. So I guess the next step is the crazy Suzan. And y'all are like, what the fuck is that? Is it just like is that like another way to say Karen? You're like a crazy Suzan? Maybe, I don't know. Let me show you guys what I mean by crazy Suzan, okay? This right here, this big rotating platform, what I'd like to do is just put a series of objects on this that I think might look really cool. And I think the most important, oh man, this is, you know, I really have to just take myself out. I have to take my brain out of this right now, and I just have to start reaching, honestly. Like, I just have to start reaching, and if we fail, we fail. It's totally fine. It's all right. So failure is welcome here. No fucking problem. Bring it on. Okay? I'm just reaching. Reaching. Okay. And I'm still reaching. I'm doing a decent job, not thinking about it. Let me raise this up a little bit here. Okay. So the reason why I call it a crazy Suzan, I'm sure you've heard of a lazy Suzan. A lazy Suzan is like something that, you know, rotates. You put it in the middle of a dinner table. Someone's like, pass the beans. You're like, bitch, just use the lazy Suzan, you lazy bitch. So then you spin the lazy Suzan. These I call crazy Suzans because so much can happen here, you know? If we were to take a break from the experiment right now, which we will do, just so I can give you guys an example of this crazy Suzan energy that I'm referring to. Let's kill the first layer. Let's kill the second layer. And let's engage the crazy Suzan. So you guys can be like, okay, now I have some context as to what you're talking about, you psychopath. So here is what I refer to as the crazy Suzan, okay? It's crazy because I literally just picked a bunch of random shit and then threw it on here. And now it is officially time to kill the lights so we can really bask ourselves into the glory of this experiment. So let's kill those lights, let's go back to the wall, and let's talk about this crazy Suzan, okay? The goal of crazy Suzan is to just put random objects on here and just let the magic be discovered. Whatever needs to happen is gonna happen. And I don't wanna be in control. So let's just stick with this. I selected it, we're here now, and frankly, I love it. This blue and this pink is fucking rad. Okay, so now let's engage the, let's go back here to this part. Isn't that something? Doesn't that look so fucking cool, you guys? Again, I'm so glad to just like pull all these things that I've neglected out so we can really sink deeper and deeper into this experience here. Okay. All right, you guys, stand by. I'm gonna grab another light to shine through this crazy Suzan. Okay, almost there. And here we go. Going to engage the crazy Suzan. Here we go. Okay. There it is. All right, let's just digest this for a second. Let me just kind of look over this randomizer here while you guys enjoy that. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add, we have everything on here, the crazy Suzan, the orbs, refractions, trinkets, orbs, beams. You know what, let's do another orb. Seriously, let's do another orb. Oh man, I'm getting some crazy fucking ideas right now, you guys. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm getting a crazy fucking idea. Let me just try and process this. Okay. I told you it depends what kind of mood I am. I'm in a good mood. So we're gonna add another orb to this insanity. Stand by. Add another orb to this insanity. thinking about it, Matt. Just do it, please. Okay. Okay. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I can do this. No. No. No, this is like so perfectly positioned. There's no reason for me to move this somewhere else right now. I know that I just have this feeling in my gut that this is missing just one more layer. And you know what that layer is, honestly? It's a laser. It's 100% a laser. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get another one of these paperweights, so another one of these orbs with a bunch of bubbles inside of it. And we're gonna shoot a laser through it. And I have a feeling that the similarities, because we'll have two similar paperweights rotating on the table, I have a feeling that the laser shining through similar bubbles will accentuate the bubbles that are on this wall right now. So let's see what happens here. Okay, let's go to the table so I can just give you guys an update of what's happening here. I have added this to this base here, and now we're gonna work with various light forms to shine through here to see how we can accentuate this, because this is this is really beautiful what we've created, but it's just not done. You know, it just needs a little bit more oomph. And I am officially running out of sockets here to use. Son of a bitch, here's one, I found one. Okay. Okay, you guys can watch as I work through this, okay? We're almost there, maybe. No guarantees. Let's see. I know some of you guys are like, whoa, that's cool, you could just do that, but we're trying to be professional here. We're not trying to saturate this with anything. We're trying to accentuate it. Big difference. Big difference. Okay. Come on, give me something. Give me something. Okay. This is nice because it adds context. You know, it just makes sense. Now this actually feels like it's like floating in space and it's not just on a wall. So let's yeah, and exactly. Like, remember when I said that putting a similar paperweight on here would accentuate the other bubbles that are also in the paperweight? That's 100% what's happening right now. Look at these green, all of these elongated green that appear to be feeding into this. That is not coming from this main orb. It's coming from this secondary orb, and I can prove it to you guys right now. We're gonna turn off the first layer, we're gonna turn off the second layer, and we're gonna turn off the crazy Suzan. And here's what we've got. And I'm really happy with this because it really does accentuate the other bubbles. Like, watch this. Watch what happens when I just turn on this other paperweight. It literally looks like one thing, doesn't it? And it's beautiful because this green actually adds a little source of emanation. And the beauty of what's happening right now is if you look at the shadow of this here, the shadow starts here, here's the shadow line, goes all the way over here. This is relatively the same size. So it's adding a lot of depth to this without us necessarily being aware of it. So let's just cover this up. And you can see how this is very cool, it's very three-dimensional, but look at how the bubbles are elongating these tiny little laser particles and making it look like this is now either receiving some sort of signal or casting out a signal. Is that not super rad or what? I'm gonna move this forward because I think it's just a little bit too big for the wall, and I want to get things, again, in order. I want this to appear like I'm a professional alien wizard scientist and not an amateur, so stand by. There we go. Let's do a test to see how these are lining up. Pretty close. If we just scoot this over a little tiny bit, that'll be pretty in alignment. Isn't that cool? And there seems to be a little bit of darkness over here. What is that from? That's okay. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's get all these layers turned back on. And then let's turn on the Crazy Suzan. Crazy Suzan, where'd you go? Here it is. Okay. This is looking pretty cool. And you know, frankly, I'm not necessarily impressed with like how this is. Remember, this is how it started. I said, let's just go with this. Well, it helped us. It definitely started us off like on the right path, but I don't think it's doing a lot of justice. I think if we turn this off, this is still epic, you know? Like when I turn this on, I'm not like, wow. I'm just like, oh, okay, there's another layer. My question is, where's the wow factor? How do we get the wow factor involved in this? I know this is already pretty wowing for most of you, but I want a little something more. So let's take this away. Let's take this away. You can see it's just a concentrated beam of light now. And what I would like to do is actually add something that looks like it's a core, like the core of this fucking paperweight. And I think what would be really cool is to shoot this concentrated beam through a colored piece of glass so that the light then absorbs the color, and I think we'll add a little bit of transparency so that it's not so exposed and covering up all of these lights. So let's grab something red. I think this could be really cool. Let me show you guys what I'm doing here. So I just picked this up. Let's grab this guy. This is red. And now I'm going to put it in front of this and we'll see what happens. So pay attention to that white dot right in the center. We're going to put this red thing right here. I'm going to get this more aligned. There we go. Cool. So already, this is starting to already look like a core and less like a deterrent. And I would say that I'm still not like super impressed. Stand by. I think that I don't hate this, but I think we should try maybe like one or two more things, okay? So I'm taking this off now, and I'm kind of going random style back here, thinking like what would look really cool. Let's try this green. Let's try this green cup. Just picked up a green cup. Here we go. Again, it's cool, but because it's transparent, it still is very exposed. So let's get something that has a really dark, like a beautiful darkness to it, okay? And I love this purple vase. So I'm gonna use this purple vase. Try not to break anything in the process. And another thing about this purple vase that I have is it actually has, I'm sorry, you guys can't see that. Here, let's go here. There we go. See this beautiful purple vase? Yeah. Let's try this. See what happens. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. See what I mean now about the transparency? None of those dots in the paperweight are necessarily like this is not a deterrent. This is definitely an accentuation. But is it enough? That's kind of the question that I have right now. Is it enough? God damn it, man. I don't know if it is. You know what we should do, honestly? We should try some crazy ass shit. Let's try some crazy ass shit, okay? We have this theme going today with all of these paperweights with bubbles in it, okay? Well, have you ever seen a paperweight this big with fucking bubbles in it? Let's just make this entire thing about like bubble paperweights. Like, why not? Let's see what happens when I put this in front of it. Here we go. Oh my god, that thing's so fucking heavy. Okay. Okay, so it has to be raised up quite a bit. Stand by. Oh my god, it's so heavy. Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ, dude. Okay, not impressed. Nope. Didn't work. Not impressed. Okay, I'm gonna try one more thing, you guys, and then we're gonna move on. I'm starting to sweat a little bit because I'm like, this is failing, but it's not failing. We just have to be patient. Just have to trust this process. And I'm gonna go with this. You know, when we talk about things that we neglect, this is also something that I feel I have neglected. This very beautiful vase here. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Putting it in front now. Okay. I like this. I like this a lot. For some reason, it looks like those elongated green lasers in this are kind of going hand in hand. So what I'm going to do, just to put a cherry on top of this experiment, we are going to add... We're going to add a laser, just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. Thank you guys for your patience. Let's do one more thing, and then we'll put a cherry on top of this, okay? Okay. I like how the laser turned out. Let's change the color of the laser. I just feel like it was that just one extra thing that we needed, honestly. There's red, green, red, there's blue, who's pink. We're right there, you guys. I swear to God, we're right fucking there. I swear to God. Okay. All right, all I want to do now is just move the camera so that this is more centered, because the tiny little imperfections on each side of the wall really make it look like, yeah. Okay, stand by. I know I told you guys that we're almost there, and I think that's partially true, but there's also a part of me that does not like this incorporation here of, like, on the crazy Suzan, I've got this thing, and it keeps opening up parts of this refraction, and I don't like the way it looks. So we're gonna choose something else that has color that will really complement all of this. And I'm gonna go for these 2 cups. We've got a green cup and a blue cup. There's already hints of green and blue in here, so I think this will be an excellent this will be an excellent addition. Let's check it out. Okay, so officially, here we go. This is it officially. Let's just watch this for a second. You guys check this out. I'm gonna feel into this, see if I'm satisfied with this or not. Stand by. So I think one of my favorite things about this is the improbabilities of the laser that we added. It was a little bit too stagnant. It was a little bit too safe earlier, and now that we've incorporated this laser, it really is communicating with its environment. You know, it's like all of a sudden everything seems calm, and then all of a sudden this laser will rip out of nowhere, and it'll look super badass. And I like that. I like that it's subtle. And that rip that I'm talking about, where did it go? Right there. Right there. Right there. That shit. That's not happening all the time. It only happens once in a while. So it literally makes this thing feel more alive because it's not saturated with just, look at this, you know, crazy shit. So, ladies and gentlemen, this will conclude our experiment for today. I'd say this was a wild success. Thank you guys for being here. Let's turn on some music for a minute for a nice outro. Much love. All right, you guys, this has been a long one. The longest lab discovery that we've had, and that's why rolling 6 can be a little intense sometimes. But I think what we've come up with is definitely shows my expertise and shows I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So that's pretty gangster. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll get this episode uploaded as soon as possible. Have a fantastic week. Peace, love, and light refractions.